Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to ask you one simple question. How long have you been learning English? 1 year, 3 years, maybe even 5 years. But can you speak English confidently without fear? Can you express your thoughts naturally, without translating every sentence inside your mind? For most people, the answer is no, and the reason is painful. Most English learners spend their whole life studying English. But they never actually live in English. They memorize grammar rules. They watch hundreds of videos. They write difficult vocabulary in notebooks. But when it is finally time to speak, fear takes control. Their mind goes blank. Their confidence disappears, and they stay silent. But listen carefully. Fluency is not built by staying silent. Fluency is built by speaking badly first. Every fluent English speaker you admire today once spoke broken English too. They made mistakes. People laughed at them. They felt embarrassed. But they kept speaking anyway, and slowly, day by day, their English changed their life. So in today's video, I will show you how to always talk in English, even if you are a beginner, even if your grammar is weak, even if you feel shy. You will learn simple daily habits, powerful speaking techniques, and mindset changes that will train your brain to think and speak in English naturally. This video can completely change the way you learn English forever. So stay with me until the end, because every minute of this video will bring you one step closer to becoming a confident English speaker. Chapter E. Why most people never become fluent. In English, most people spend years studying English, but they still cannot speak naturally. Do you know why? Because they only study English. They never practice speaking English in real life. They read books silently. They memorize difficult words. They watch videos for hours. But when someone says, "Speak in English," suddenly their mind becomes empty. Their heart beats fast. Their confidence disappears. And they say, "My English is not good." But the truth is, your English will never become good if you keep staying silent. Think about a child for a moment. When a child learns to speak, does the child speak perfect grammar? No. The child makes mistakes every single day. Sometimes the pronunciation is wrong. Sometimes the sentence is broken. Sometimes the words are missing. But the child keeps speaking, again and again and again, and slowly, naturally, fluency comes. Now look at adults learning English. They do the opposite. They become silent because they are scared of mistakes. They want every sentence to sound perfect before opening their mouth. And because of that, they never improve. Perfection becomes their prison. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two students. Student number 1 studies grammar for 3 hours every day. He writes rules in a notebook. He memorizes vocabulary, but he never speaks because he feels shy. Student number 2 knows less grammar. His sentences are broken. His pronunciation is not perfect. But every day he speaks English for 30 minutes without fear. He talks to himself. He practices in front of a mirror. He records his voice. He makes mistakes daily. Now, tell me honestly, after 1 year, who will speak better English? Of course, the second student. Why? Because speaking is a skill, and skills only grow through practice. You cannot learn swimming by reading a book about swimming. You must enter the water. In the same way, you cannot become fluent in English by only watching videos. You must speak, even if your voice shakes, even if your grammar is weak, even if you feel embarrassed, and listen carefully because this part can change your life forever. People are not thinking about your mistakes as much as you think. Most people are too busy worrying about their own problems. But inside your mind, you keep creating imaginary fear. You think everyone will judge you. You think everyone will laugh at you. You think one mistake will destroy your image. But that is not true. In fact, every mistake you make is proof that you are learning. A person who never makes mistakes usually never tries anything new. Do you know what is more dangerous than making mistakes? Staying silent for years. Because silence feels safe at first, but slowly it destroys your confidence. So pans. Well, how? Every time you avoid speaking English, your fear becomes stronger. And one day, you start believing, maybe I can never become fluent. But that is a lie your fear tells you. You absolutely can become fluent. But first, you must stop treating mistakes like enemies. From today, start treating mistakes like teachers. Every wrong sentence teaches you something. Every embarrassing moment makes you stronger. Every small conversation builds confidence. This is how fluency is created. Not in comfort, not in silence, not in perfection. Fluency is built inside uncomfortable moments. I know what many of you are thinking right now. But what if people laugh at me? Let me tell you something honest. People laughed at beginners in every skill. They laughed at people learning how to dance. They laughed at people learning how to sing. They laughed at people starting businesses. They laughed at people trying something new. But the people who ignored the laughter became successful later. The same thing happens with English. If you let fear control you, your life will stay the same. But if you become brave enough to speak imperfect English every day, your future will completely change. And remember this: fluency is not about speaking fast. Fluency is about expressing your thoughts without fear. Even simple English can sound powerful when spoken confidently. You do not need difficult vocabulary to speak good English. You just need courage and consistency. Start with simple sentences. I am tired. I am hungry. I am going to work. Today was difficult. I want to improve my English. Simple sentences spoken daily are more powerful than difficult sentences. It's never spoken at all. And here is another mistake most learners make. They compare themselves to fluent speakers and feel discouraged. They watch someone speaking perfect English on YouTube and think, I can never speak like that. But what you do not see is their journey. You do not see the years of mistakes, fear, practice, and embarrassment they went through. Every fluent speaker was once a nervous beginner too. Nobody was born speaking perfect English. The difference is simple. They kept going when others quit. So, from today, Stop asking yourself, what if I make mistakes? Start asking yourself, what happens if I never try? Because one day, your fear of staying the same will become bigger than your fear of speaking, and that day will change your life forever. In the next chapter, I will show you how to build a complete English environment around daily life so your brain starts learning English naturally, without pressure. And trust me, this next step is where most people completely transform their speaking confidence. Chapter R. Build an English environment around your life. Your environment controls your mind more than your motivation does. If English only exists inside your notebook, it will never become part of your life. This is the reason many people study English for years, but still struggle to speak naturally. English is treated like a school subject instead of a living language. They study English only when they feel motivated, but fluent speakers do something different. They surround themselves with English daily until English slowly becomes normal. And the beautiful part is this: you do not need to move to another country to create an English environment. You can build it right inside your own home starting today. Most people think fluency comes from studying harder, but many times, fluency comes from changing your environment smarter. Let me tell you about a simple example. Two people again. Person number 1 studies grammar for 1 hour every day, but spends the remaining 23 hours completely disconnected from English. Person number 2 studies for only 30 minutes, but throughout the day, English stays around them. They watch English videos. They listen to English audio while walking. They read small English posts. They think in English during simple moments. They speak simple sentences while doing daily tasks. Now, after 6 months, who do you think will feel more comfortable with English? Of course, the second person. Why? Earns through repeated exposure. The more your brain hears English, sees English, and experiences English, the less strange it feels. Slowly, English stops feeling like work and starts feeling natural. And this is exactly what you need. Not pressure, not stress, not impossible study routines. You need daily connection with English. Start with small changes. The first thing you can do is change your phone language to English. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. Some buttons may confuse you, but slowly, your brain will begin recognizing common English words naturally without memorization. Then start listening to simple English every day. And listen carefully. You do not need to understand 100%. Many beginners quit because they panic when they do not understand every word. But language learning does not work like that. Even children do not understand everything immediately. Understanding grows slowly through repetition. So instead of chasing perfection, chase consistency. Listen to simple English videos while eating food. Listen to English podcasts while walking. Listen to short conversations before sleeping. Even if you understand only 30% today, your brain is still learning. Every single day, your ears become stronger. And here is something powerful that most learners ignore. Your brain learns fastest when English becomes connected to your daily life. For example, while making tea, say simple sentences in English. I am making tea. The water is hot. I need sugar. This smells good. While cleaning your room, describe your actions. I am cleaning the table. The room looks better now. I need to organize my books. These tiny moments may look small, but they are life-changing. Why? Because now, English is no longer just information inside your notebook. English is becoming part of your real world. And this is exactly how fluency grows naturally. Do not wait for perfect situations. Many people say, I will practice English when I find good speaking partners. No. Start now. Use your current life as your classroom. Your kitchen can become your English classroom. Your bedroom can become your English classroom. Your morning walk can become your English classroom. Fluent speakers are not always the smartest people. Many times, they are simply the people who stayed connected to English every day without quitting. And let me tell you another truth that may completely change your mindset. Small daily habits are stronger than big motivation. Many learners become excited one day. They study English for 5 hours. They watch 10 videos. They memorize 50 words. Then the next day, they feel tired and do nothing. That is not consistency. That is emotional studying. Real progress comes from simple habits repeated daily. Even 15 minutes every day can transform your English. Faster than 5 hours once a week. Because language learning is like exercise. Your brain needs regular training, not occasional pressure. And here is another dangerous mistake many learners make. They only consume difficult English because they think difficult means better. They watch advanced videos they barely understand. They read complicated articles. Then they become frustrated and lose confidence. Listen carefully. Beginner English is powerful. Simple English builds strong foundations. If you understand simple English deeply, your fluency will grow naturally over time. So, stop trying to sound advanced immediately. Focus on understanding and speaking clearly first. Confidence grows step by step. Now imagine your future for a moment. Imagine waking up and understanding English naturally without translating every word. Imagine watching videos without subtitles. Imagine speaking without panic. Imagine expressing your thoughts confidently. That future does not come from one magical secret. It comes from daily exposure, little by little, day by day, habit by habit. And one day, something amazing happens. English stops feeling foreign. You stop translating every sentence. You stop freezing during conversations. You stop fearing every mistake. Because your brain has finally accepted English as part of your life. That is why building an English environment is so important. It trains your mind even when you are not actively studying. And remember this carefully. Your environment either builds your dreams or destroys them silently. If you surround yourself with negativity, excuses, and laziness, your English will stay weak. But if you surround yourself with daily English, positive habits, and consistent practice, your confidence will slowly become unstoppable. You do not need perfect grammar today. You do not need an expensive course today. You do not need to sound like a native speaker today. You only need one decision. The decision to bring English into your life every single day. Because the more English becomes part of your daily routine, the faster fluency becomes part of your identity. And in the next chapter, I will show you one of the most powerful secrets of fluent speakers. A habit that completely changes the speed of your speaking. You will learn how to stop translating inside your mind and finally start thinking directly in English. That is the moment when real fluency begins. Chapter 10, Stop Translating and Start Thinking. In English, when someone speaks English to you, what happens inside your mind? First, you hear the English sentence. Then your brain quickly translates it into your native language. After that, you create your answer in your native language. Then again, your brain tries to translate your answer into English. And during this whole process, fear enters your mind. You start worrying about grammar. You overthink vocabulary. You panic about pronunciation. And finally, either you speak very slowly or you stay silent completely. This is why many learners understand English but still cannot speak fluently. Their brain is carrying too much pressure. But fluent speakers do something different. They do not translate every sentence. They think directly in English and listen carefully, because this may completely change your English journey forever. The moment you start thinking in English, your speaking speed begins to grow naturally. At first, it feels impossible. Many beginners say, "How can I think in English when my English is weak?" But remember this, nobody starts with complex thoughts. You start small, very small. A baby does not begin speaking with long speeches. A baby starts with tiny words. In the same way, your English mind must grow step by step. Start thinking simple thoughts in English during your daily life. I am tired. I am hungry. I need water. The weather is hot today. I am going to work. I feel happy. I need to sleep. These simple thoughts are powerful. Why? Because now your brain is slowly building direct English connections without translation. And this is how real fluency begins. Let me give you an example. Imagine you wake up in the morning. Usually, your brain starts thinking in your native language automatically. But from today, try changing small moments into English. When you wake up, say inside your mind, "I need to get up now." While brushing your teeth, think, "I am brushing my teeth." While eating breakfast, think, "This tastes good." While leaving your house, think, "I hope today goes well." These are not small exercises. These are brain training exercises. Every time you think in English, your brain becomes faster and more comfortable with the language. And here is the beautiful part. Nobody needs to see you doing this. You can practice anytime and anywhere. Inside your room, on a bus, while walking, before sleeping. Your mind becomes your English classroom. Now let me tell you about something that destroys many learners emotionally. They think simple. English is embarrassing. They think fluency means using difficult vocabulary and advanced grammar all the time. So they avoid speaking simple English because they want to sound intelligent. But listen carefully. Simple English spoken confidently is far more powerful than difficult English spoken fearfully. Fluent speakers are not trying to impress people with difficult words. every second. They focus on communication. They focus on expressing thoughts naturally. You do not need complicated sentences to sound good. Imagine someone saying, "I am very excited because today I achieved something important." Simple sentence. Clear message. Natural communication. That is real fluency. Many beginners destroy their confidence because they try to speak like advanced speakers too early. Then they panic, forget words, and feel discouraged. No. Build your English slowly and naturally. Strong buildings are not built in one day. And there is another important thing you must understand. Thinking in English feels uncomfortable at first. Because your brain is entering a new system. Your mind has spent years thinking in your native language. So naturally, changing that habit takes time. But discomfort is not failure. Discomfort is proof that your brain is growing. Let me tell you a story. There was a student named Ali. He studied English for almost 4 years. He knew grammar rules. He memorized vocabulary. But every time he tried to speak, he froze. His mind became blank. He translated every sentence and became nervous during conversations. One day, he changed one habit. Instead of constantly translating, he started thinking small thoughts in English every day. At first, it felt strange, very strange. His sentences were simple and broken. Sometimes he forgot words. Sometimes his thoughts stopped completely. But he continued. Every morning, he described his routine in English. Every night, he spoke to himself in English for 5 minutes. While walking outside, he described people, cars, weather, and buildings in English. Slowly, something amazing happened. His speaking speed improved. His fear reduced. His confidence became stronger. Why? Because English stopped feeling like a school subject and started becoming part of his thinking. And after a few months, he realized something powerful. He was no longer translating every sentence. He was finally thinking in English naturally. That moment changed everything for him. And the same thing can happen to you, but only if you practice daily. Not perfectly, not for hours. Just consistently. And here is another powerful exercise that can completely improve your fluency. Start talking to yourself in English. Yes, seriously. Most people are afraid to speak because they wait for perfect speaking partners. But you can become stronger alone. Talk about your day. Talk about your plans. Talk about your dreams. Talk about your problems. For example, you can say, "Today was difficult, but I learned something new. I want to improve my English. I feel tired, but I will keep practicing. One day, I will speak confidently." This habit may feel funny at first, but it is incredibly powerful. Why? Because speaking to yourself removes pressure. There is no judgment, no embarrassment, no fear. Only practice. And practice creates confidence. Remember this carefully. Fluency is not magic. Fluency is repetition. The more you think in English, the more natural speaking becomes. And please, stop worrying about perfect grammar every second. When you focus too much on rules during speaking, your confidence breaks. Grammar improves over time through exposure and practice. But if fear controls your speaking, your progress becomes slow. Communication first, perfection later. That should become your new mindset. And let me tell you one final truth before this chapter ends. Your brain becomes stronger in the language you use daily. If you keep thinking only in your native language, English will always feel foreign. But if you slowly train your mind to think in English every day, English will begin feeling natural. This is not talent. This is training. Small thoughts become small sentences. Small sentences become conversations. Conversations become fluency, one step at a time. And in the next chapter, I will show you how to practice speaking English every single day, even if nobody around you speaks English. This next chapter can completely destroy your fear and finally help you speak with real confidence. Chapter C. Speak English every day, even if nobody is around. Now listen carefully, because this chapter can completely change your confidence forever. Most English learners keep repeating the same excuse again and again. I have nobody to practice English with. And slowly this excuse becomes a prison. Days pass, months pass, years pass. But nothing changes because they are waiting for the perfect speaking partner, the perfect friend, the perfect teacher, or the perfect environment. But let me tell you something powerful. You do not need other people to start speaking English. You only need the courage to practice alone. In fact, some of the most confident English speakers spent months practicing alone before speaking confidently with others. Yes, alone. Because confidence is not built in crowds first. Confidence is built in private moments when nobody is watching. Think about athletes for a moment. Before performing in front of thousands of people, they practice alone for hours. Singers practice alone. Actors practice alone. Successful people repeat skills privately until confidence becomes natural. English works the same way. If you only wait for conversations with others, your speaking practice becomes weak and inconsistent. But when you learn how to practice alone, your improvement becomes unstoppable. And today, I will show you exactly how to do that. The first powerful method is mirror speaking. This method looks simple, but it changes lives. Stand in front of a mirror every day and speak English to yourself for 5 or 10 minutes. At first, it may feel awkward. You may feel uncomfortable looking at yourself while speaking broken English. You may forget words. You may become nervous. But that discomfort is important. Why? Because most learners are not only afraid of English, they are afraid of hearing themselves speak English. Mirror speaking destroys that fear slowly. When you speak in front of a mirror daily, something powerful happens. You become comfortable with your own voice. You stop feeling embarrassed by your pronunciation. You stop panicking every time you open your mouth. And slowly, confidence begins to grow. Talk about anything. Your day, your goals, your problems, your favorite movie, your plans for the future. Even simple English is enough. For example, say, "Today I woke up late. I feel tired today. I want to improve my speaking. I will not give up. My English is becoming better. Do not worry about perfection. Your goal is movement, not perfection. And here is another powerful practice that most learners ignore. Speak loudly. Many beginners practice English only inside their mind. But real speaking confidence comes when your mouth, tongue, and brain work together. When you speak loudly, your pronunciation improves naturally. Your confidence improves naturally. Your brain becomes faster at creating sentences. Do not whisper your dreams. Speak them. Now, let me tell you about another life-changing technique called shadowing. This method is extremely powerful for fluency and pronunciation. Here is how it works. Choose a short English video or audio from a native speaker. Listen carefully to one sentence. Then immediately repeat it exactly like the speaker. Copy the pronunciation. Copy the rhythm. Copy the emotion. Copy the confidence. At first, your speaking may sound weak. But over time, your brain starts adapting naturally to real English patterns. This is exactly how children learn languages. They listen and imitate again and again. And remember this carefully. Repetition creates fluency, not talent, not intelligence, not expensive courses. Daily repetition creates fluency. Now let me tell you about another technique that can completely transform your speaking ability. Voice recording. Most people avoid recording their voice because they hate hearing themselves speak English. But that fear is exactly why you must do it. Record yourself speaking for 1 or 2 minutes every day. Talk about your morning. Talk about your plans. Talk about your feelings. Talk about anything. Then listen carefully. At first, you may notice mistakes. Your pronunciation may sound strange. Your sentences may feel broken, but do not feel discouraged. This is how growth begins. Every recording becomes proof of progress. After 1 month, compare your new recordings to your old ones. You will hear improvement. Your confidence will sound stronger. Your speaking will sound smoother. And this progress will motivate you to continue. Now let me tell you something very important. Many learners quit too early. This is one of the biggest mistakes in language learning. People practice speaking for 1 week and expect magical fluency. When they do not see instant results, they become disappointed and stop. But fluency does not grow like a light switch. Fluency grows like a tree, slowly, quietly, daily. At first, you may feel like nothing is changing. But inside your brain, powerful changes are happening. Your mind is adapting. Your ears are learning. Your speaking muscles are becoming stronger. Then one day, suddenly, you notice something amazing. You speak faster. You hesitate less. You understand more. You feel calmer during conversations. That is how growth works. Invisible first, visible later. So stop judging your progress every single day. Instead, trust the process. And here is another important truth. You do not need hours of practice every day. You need consistency. 10 minutes daily is stronger than 2 hours once a week. Why? Because your brain learns through regular exposure. Daily speaking trains your mind to stay connected with English naturally. Now, Imagine your future self for a moment. Imagine speaking English confidently without fear. Imagine expressing your thoughts naturally. Imagine feeling relaxed during conversations instead of nervous. That version of you is not impossible. That version of you is being created every time you practice. Every sentence matters. Every small effort matters. Every uncomfortable moment matters. Because confidence is built sentence by sentence. And let me tell you one final thing before this chapter ends. Stop waiting to feel confident before speaking. This is where many people stay trapped forever. They think, I will speak when my confidence improves. No. Confidence improves because you speak. Action creates confidence. Not waiting. Not overthinking. Not dreaming. Action. Even if your English is broken today, speak. Even if your pronunciation is weak today, speak. Even if your hands shake with nervousness, speak. Because every time you speak English, you are teaching your brain one powerful lesson. I am capable. And slowly, your fear begins to die. In the next chapter, we are going to destroy one of the biggest enemies of English learners completely: fear, shyness, and the fear of making mistakes. This next chapter may become the turning point of your entire English journey. So stay with me, because what you learn next can finally free your voice forever. Chapter 5. Destroy fear, shyness, and the fear of mistakes. Let me tell you something that may hurt a little, but it can completely change your English forever. Your biggest problem is not weak grammar. Your biggest problem is not pronunciation. Your biggest problem is fear. Fear has been silently controlling your voice for years. Every time you want to speak English, fear enters your mind before the words even. Leave your mouth. What if I make mistakes? What if they laugh at me? What if my English sounds bad? What if I forget words? And because of these thoughts, you stay silent. But listen carefully. Silence is not protecting you. Silence is destroying your confidence slowly. Every time you avoid speaking English because of fear, your brain learns one dangerous lesson. English is scary, and the more you avoid speaking, the stronger that fear becomes. One day, you start believing that maybe you are not smart enough to become fluent. But that is a lie. You are not weak. You are not incapable. You are simply afraid. And fear can be defeated. Do you think fluent English speakers never made mistakes? Of course they did. They made hundreds of mistakes. Thousands of mistakes. They pronounced words incorrectly. They used wrong grammar. They forgot vocabulary during conversations. But they continued speaking anyway. That is why they became fluent. Now look at many English learners. They make one small mistake and suddenly feel embarrassed for the whole day. Some people even stop speaking for weeks because someone laughed at them once. But listen carefully to this truth because it can free your mind forever. Mistakes are not proof of failure. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. A person learning English will make mistakes. A person improving pronunciation will make mistakes. A person building confidence will make mistakes. That is normal. In fact, the only people who never make speaking mistakes are the people who never speak at all, and that is far more dangerous. Let me tell you a story. There was a girl named Sarah. She loved English deeply. Every day she watched English videos and studied vocabulary. But whenever someone asked her to speak English, she became nervous immediately. Her hands shook. Her heart raced. Her mind became blank. Why? Because she was terrified of embarrassment. One day, during an English class, she tried to answer a question in English. Her grammar was not perfect. Her pronunciation was weak. And some students laughed quietly. That moment broke her confidence completely. After that day, she stopped speaking English in class. She knew answers inside her mind, but fear kept her silent. Months passed. Her English stopped improving because fear became stronger than her dreams. Then one day, she realized something painful. The students who laughed at her were improving their English because they kept speaking. But she stayed trapped in silence because she feared judgment. That day changed her mindset forever. She made one decision. I would rather sound imperfect while improving than sound perfect while staying silent. And slowly she started speaking again. Shumshu. At first, her voice still shook. She still made mistakes. People still judged sometimes. But she continued. Every conversation made her stronger. Every mistake made her wiser. Every uncomfortable moment built confidence inside her. And after 1 year, the same girl who once feared speaking English became one of the most confident speakers in her class. Why? Because courage defeated fear. And the same thing can happen to you, but only if you stop treating embarrassment like a disaster. Listen carefully. People may laugh at your English for 5 seconds, but if you quit because of that fear, you may lose opportunities for years. Fear. Never sacrifice your future because of temporary embarrassment. And here is another truth many people need to hear. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to constantly judge you. The fear inside your mind is usually much bigger than reality itself. You imagine people analyzing every mistake. You imagine people secretly mocking you. You imagine failure before speaking even begins. But many times, people respect those who try, because speaking a new language takes courage. Now let me show you how to destroy fear slowly. First, stop trying to sound perfect. Perfection creates pressure. Pressure creates fear. Fear creates silence. Instead, focus on communication. If someone understands your message, you are already succeeding. For example, imagine you say, "Yesterday I go market." Yes, the grammar is not perfect. But people still understand your meaning. Communication happened, and slowly, with practice, your grammar improves naturally. Second, start speaking slowly. Many learners panic because they try to speak too fast. They rush sentences because they think fluency means speed. But speaking too fast increases mistakes and nervousness. Slow down. Take a breath. Think calmly. Speak clearly. Confidence is more important than speed. Third, smile while speaking. This may sound simple, but it changes your energy completely. Smiling relaxes your body and reduces nervousness. Your voice sounds calmer. Your mind feels lighter. Small changes create big confidence. Fourth, practice small conversations daily. Do not wait for huge opportunities. Speak small English every day. Order food in English. Say simple greetings. Ask small questions. Talk to yourself in English. Confidence grows through small victories. And here is something extremely important. Stop comparing yourself to fluent speakers constantly. Comparison destroys motivation. When you see someone speaking beautiful English, remember this. You are seeing their results, not their struggle. You are seeing their confidence, not their years of mistakes. Every fluent speaker once spoke broken English too. Nobody starts fluent. Nobody starts fearless. Fluency is built through uncomfortable practice. And let me tell you one final truth that can completely transform your mindset forever. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes after action. Most learners think, I will speak English when I feel confident. No, you become confident because you speak English repeatedly. Every conversation trains your brain. Every mistake reduces fear. Every sentence builds courage. That is how confidence is created. So from today, stop hiding your voice. Your English does not need to be perfect to deserve expression. Speak with mistakes. Speak with fear. Speak with nervousness. But speak, because every time you speak English, you are becoming stronger than your fear. And one day, something beautiful happens. You stop panicking during conversations. You stop overthinking every sentence. You stop fearing judgment. Why? Because your confidence finally becomes stronger than your fear. And in the final chapter, I will show you how to make English a permanent part of your life. So you never lose motivation again and continue growing until fluency becomes natural. This last chapter will bring everything together and may completely change the future of your English journey forever. King Chapter Low. Make English a permanent part of your life. Now listen very carefully because this final chapter may become the moment that changes your English journey forever. Most people start learning English with excitement. They feel motivated for a few days. They watch videos. They practice speaking. They promise themselves, this time I will become fluent. But after some time, motivation disappears. Life becomes busy. Laziness enters. Fear returns. And slowly they stop practicing. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. And their English dream slowly fades away. Not because they were incapable. Not because they were unintelligent. But because they treated English like a temporary activity, instead of making it part of their life. And this is the biggest difference between people who become fluent and people who stay stuck forever. Fluent people do not practice English only when they feel motivated. They practice even when they feel tired, even when progress feels slow, even when nobody supports them. Because they understand one powerful truth. Small daily actions create massive life changes over time. Think about this carefully. If you improve your English for only 20 minutes every day, it may not feel important today. You may look at yourself after 1 week and think, nothing is changing. Mein Born Pon. But after 1 year, your entire confidence can transform. That is how real growth works. Slowly, quietly, powerfully. Most people quit because they expect fast results. They want fluency in 1 month. They want confidence immediately. But language learning is not magic. It is a long journey of small improvements repeated daily. Imagine planting a tree. When you plant the seed, nothing looks impressive at first. Days pass and you see no big change. But under the ground, roots are growing silently. Then one day, the tree begins to rise strongly. English works exactly the same way. Every sentence you speak is building roots. Every mistake is building roots. Every uncomfortable practice session is building roots. And one day, your fluency suddenly becomes visible. Now let me tell you something important. Motivation alone will never make you fluent. This is where many learners fail. They depend completely on motivation. When they feel excited, they practice. When they feel lazy, they stop. When they feel inspired, they study. When life becomes difficult, they quit. But successful English learners build discipline. Discipline means practicing even when motivation disappears. And honestly, some days you will not feel motivated. Some days your English will feel weak. Some days you will feel frustrated. Some days you will compare yourself to others and feel discouraged. But those difficult days are the moments that decide your future. Anyone can practice when they feel excited. But growth truly happens when you continue despite discomfort. Now let me show you how to make English part of your daily life permanently. First, create a simple English routine. Do not create impossible schedules. Many beginners destroy themselves by making huge plans they cannot follow. They study 5 hours one day and burn out immediately. No. Build simple habits you can follow for years. For example, listen to English for 10 minutes every morning. Speak English to yourself for 5 minutes daily. Learn a few useful words every day. Think in English before sleeping. Watch short English content consistently. Simple habits repeated daily become life-changing. Second, stop depending completely on classrooms or courses. Yes, teachers can help you. Courses can guide you. But real fluency grows from your personal daily effort. You must take responsibility for your growth. Your future English confidence depends on what you do daily. When nobody is forcing you to practice. Third, make English emotionally connected to your dreams. This is extremely important. English should not feel like punishment. English should feel like possibility. Maybe English can help you get a better job. Maybe English can help you travel. Maybe English can help you build confidence. Maybe English can help you create content online. Maybe English can connect you with people around the world. When English becomes connected to your future dreams, your motivation becomes stronger. Naturally. And now let me tell you something deeper. English is not only changing your language, it is changing your identity. Right now, maybe you feel shy. Maybe you feel nervous during conversations. Maybe you avoid speaking because fear controls you. But every time you practice English, you are slowly becoming a different person. A braver person. A stronger person. A more confident person. Language learning is not only about words. It is about transformation. And one day, you will realize something beautiful. The same person who once feared speaking simple English is now communicating confidently without panic. That transformation will shock you, but only if you continue. And please remember this carefully. Do not compare your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20. Many learners lose hope because they constantly compare themselves to fluent speakers online. 4. They forget that every fluent speaker once struggled too. You are not behind. You are learning. Your journey's your own. Now imagine your future self 1 year from today if you continue practicing daily. Imagine understanding English naturally. Imagine speaking without translating every sentence. Imagine watching movies, talking to people, and expressing your thoughts confidently. That future version of you is not impossible. That person is being built right now through your daily habits. Every practice session matters. Every sentence matters. Every uncomfortable moment matters. And here is the most powerful truth of this entire video. Fluency is not built in one giant moment. Fluency is built in small moments repeated daily. The moment you choose to speak instead of staying silent. The moment you practice instead of making excuses. The moment you continue instead of quitting. Those moments slowly create a new life. And before this video ends, I want you to promise yourself something. Stop saying, "One day I will become fluent." No. Start saying, "Every day I am becoming more fluent." Because fluency is not a destination you magically reach one morning. Fluency is a process, a lifestyle, a daily relationship with English. So from today, stop treating English like a temporary challenge. Make it part of your daily life. Make it part of your thinking. Make it part of your future. And one day, without even realizing it, you will speak English naturally, with confidence, freedom, and pride. Not because you were perfect, not because you were fearless, but because you refused to give up. If this video helped you even a little, then don't keep this message only for yourself. Why arrive? Share it with someone who is struggling to speak English. And most importantly, start today. Not next week. Not next month. Today. Speak one sentence in English after this video ends. Then, speak another tomorrow. Remember, fluency is not built in one day. It is built daily, slowly, quietly, powerfully. And one day, you will surprise yourself. You will speak English naturally, without fear. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. I will always talk in English. I'll see you in the next video.